There are words so charged with divine power that when spoken, the very fabric of the universe bends to obey. Imagine standing in the middle of your life, faced with obstacles, lack, or unanswered prayers, and realizing that you already hold the master key, not in money, not in influence, not in human effort, but in the spoken word that carries the authority of spirit itself. The world you see is nothing more than the echo of what has been declared. And when you speak with faith, with certainty, with the boldness of one who knows their rightful inheritance, heaven and earth shift to deliver. This is not wishful thinking or empty hope. It is law, the unshakable principle that your word shapes your world. And today, you are about to discover the very phrase that unlocks the hidden storehouses of abundance, the words that set miracles in motion, the declaration that makes the impossible bow before you. Speak this, and watch the universe obey. In the beginning was the Word, and even now, the Word remains the root of all creation. Everything that exists in your life, whether harmony or discord, abundance or lack, was once spoken into being. Words are not idle sounds, they are carriers of vibration, divine messengers that shape and mold the unseen into form. Each word you speak carries a life of its own, clothed in the energy you release with it. When spoken with faith, conviction, and expectancy, words rise like seeds planted in the rich soil of the universe, destined to bear fruit according to their kind. To speak is not a mere act of communication, it is an act of creation. Every phrase you utter carries with it a decree, whether you are aware of it or not. And the universe is ever attentive, listening to the tone of your words, ready to mirror them back to you in perfect precision. You have seen how a careless word can wound, leaving scars deeper than any physical injury. Yet just as words can harm, they can heal. A kind word spoken at the right moment lifts a soul out of despair, setting their feet once again on the path of hope. If words can do this in the realm of human emotion, how much more can they accomplish when spoken with authority into the vast substance of life itself? The power of the spoken word is not symbolic, it is literal. What you declare, you summon. What you deny, you dismiss. Your every spoken sentence is a command, a decree, whether constructive or destructive, and the invisible world obeys with unwavering accuracy. Consider how a gardener plants seeds. Each seed is chosen, placed deliberately, watered, and cared for. In time, the seed breaks open, and new life springs forth. Words function the same way. When you speak, you sow into the soil of your existence. Yet unlike a gardener who sees the packet of seeds in her hand, many are unaware of the seeds they scatter daily. They speak lack, fear, limitation, and wonder why their lives bloom with weeds instead of roses. The truth is that the universe is never partial, it gives back exactly what it receives. Speak health, and health seeks you. Speak confusion, and confusion circles back. The soil is neutral, but the seed is not. The great secret is this: words spoken with faith and certainty carry immeasurable power. Faith is the water that causes the seed to grow, while doubt dries up its potential. You must learn to guard your tongue as though it were the gatekeeper of your destiny, for it is. To speak without intention is to wander aimlessly. To speak with conscious direction is to summon the life you desire. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, and those who understand this principle take great care in what they release into the atmosphere. Have you not noticed that those who constantly speak of misfortune seem to live under a cloud of it, while those who declare blessings find themselves surrounded by favor? It is not coincidence but law. Your words are creative instruments. They form pictures in the unseen, and those pictures clothe themselves in reality. Just as a potter molds clay, so do your words mold the circumstances of your life. When you affirm, "I am strong," strength is awakened within you. When you confess, "I am weak," weakness multiplies. The universe is impartial to the content of your declaration. It only knows to bring forth what you have spoken. This is why the tongue must be disciplined. Idle chatter, careless complaints, and fearful mutterings may seem harmless, but they are seeds cast upon fertile ground, and once sown, they cannot help but bear fruit. You are always creating with your speech, whether you are conscious of it or not. Therefore, wisdom is to speak only that which you desire to see unfold. Words of faith, love, harmony, and abundance shape a life of beauty. Words of fear, anger, resentment, and doubt construct a life of struggle. To realize this is to awaken to your responsibility as a creator. Understand that words vibrate far beyond the realm of sound. They carry frequency, shaping the unseen substance of life. Even when spoken softly, their impact reverberates. Whisper words of faith, and invisible currents shift to align with your expectation. Declare boldly, and the universe rushes to obey. What you speak is never lost. It is etched into the very energy of existence, returning to you multiplied. Just as an echo responds to the voice that calls out, so does life echo your speech with exact precision. The spoken word is not only a tool of manifestation, it is a weapon of defense. When fear whispers, answer with the word of faith. When lack threatens, speak abundance into existence. When confusion presses, declare clarity. The tongue can banish shadows and call forth light, for it is linked to the infinite source that governs all things. No obstacle, no adversity, no condition can withstand the force of a word spoken with authority and backed by unwavering belief. If you wish to transform your life, begin with your words. Take inventory of what you say throughout the day. Do you speak limitation more often than possibility? Do you give voice to your doubts rather than your faith? Do you rehearse grievances instead of declaring peace? The words you continually release are programming the conditions around you. If you desire a new experience, you must train your tongue to speak in alignment with that vision. Say only what you wish to see. Deny the appearance of lack and affirm the reality of supply. Refuse to magnify fear and declare the presence of divine protection. It is not enough to think positively, you must speak it into being. Thought alone creates an image, but speech clothes it in vibration, giving it the command to manifest. Words are the bridge between the unseen and the seen. They call things from the invisible into the visible, from the potential into the actual. You cannot afford to speak lightly, for every phrase is creative energy set into motion. The universe is not swayed by hesitation or half-hearted speech. It responds to words charged with faith, certainty, and expectancy. When you grasp this, you will understand that silence is better than careless speech, for silence sows nothing, but careless words sow weeds. To speak with precision is to hold the steering wheel of your destiny. You need not strive or struggle, you need only to speak in alignment with divine truth. Say, I am guided, I am supplied, I am protected, I am whole, and life will echo those decrees back to you in form, circumstance, and opportunity. Your word is your wand, your staff of power, your instrument of dominion. With it, you can summon light into darkness, abundance into emptiness, and peace into turmoil. Speak, therefore, with awareness, for the power of the spoken word is the power of creation itself. You stand at the threshold of unlimited possibility, and your words are the key that unlocks it. There is a great difference between asking and commanding. To ask is to hope, to command is to know. The universe does not respond to timid requests or half-hearted whispers of doubt. It bends to the voice of authority. This is the sacred law of command. Life is not moved by pleading, nor is it compelled by fear. It is moved by the one who speaks as if the decree is already done. When you understand this truth, you cease begging for what is yours by divine right and begin commanding it forth with boldness and certainty. To live under the law of command is to recognize that you are not a beggar at the gates of heaven, but an heir of the kingdom, endowed with the authority to speak into existence the good that belongs to you. Begging implies separation from what is desired, as though the universe were reluctant to give. But command recognizes union. It acknowledges that the supply is already present, waiting only for the decree to be spoken. When a king commands, he does not wonder whether his word will be carried out. He knows. He does not plead with his servants, nor does he beg for their agreement. he speaks and his will is established. Likewise, when you speak with divine authority, the unseen forces of life move instantly to obey. Command is born of faith, and faith is the assurance that what is spoken already exists in the invisible. To speak with command is not to coerce or to struggle, but to align with the eternal truth that your good is already yours. When you declare, "I am divinely guided," you are not requesting guidance, you are affirming that guidance is present and now revealed. When you speak, "All doors of opportunity fly open for me," you are not asking life to someday open them, you are commanding the law to reveal them now. The universe is structured to respond to such certainty, for certainty is the language of creation. Consider the difference between a child and a master of truth. The child asks, "May I have this?" uncertain of the answer. The master declares, "This is mine by divine right," knowing that nothing can withhold it. The law of command is impartial, it mirrors back whatever is spoken with conviction. If you command fear and limitation through your words, life faithfully produces it. If you command abundance and peace, they rush to appear. The law does not choose for you, it only obeys your command. The tragedy is that many command lack without realizing it, saying over and over, "I never have enough," or "Nothing works out for me," and then wonder why their lives echo those words. They are living under the law of command, but in ignorance of its power, they command the very things they dread. To practice the law of command is to discipline the tongue and train it, to speak only those things that align with divine truth. This does not mean ignoring appearances, but denying them power and commanding the reality you wish to see. When sickness appears, do not plead for healing as though health were far away. Instead, command, "I am whole, I am strong, I am renewed." When lack seems to press upon you, do not cry out in desperation for supply. Command, "My supply is abundant and flows to me now in perfect ways." The power of command is not in the volume of your voice, but in the certainty of your heart. Even a quiet word, spoken with conviction, carries infinite weight in the unseen. The law of command works because the universe is governed by order. Chaos may appear on the surface, but beneath it all is perfect alignment with law. Just as gravity holds planets in orbit without effort, so does the law of command hold your words in place until they manifest. There is no confusion, no delay except that which doubt introduces. When you hesitate, the command is weakened. When you speak with divided mind, the result is unstable. But when you speak with full assurance, the law has no choice but to obey, for it is bound by divine decree to bring forth the words spoken in faith. Think of the captain of a ship. He does not plead with the crew to steer the vessel. He gives a command, and the ship moves. He does not wonder if the sea will obey the rudder, he knows. Your life is your vessel, and your words are the commands that steer it. If you drift aimlessly, it is because your commands have been aimless. If you crash against rocks of difficulty, it is because your commands have been careless. But if you learn to issue commands with clarity, certainty, and precision, your life will sail smoothly toward the harbor of your desired destiny. There is a sacred boldness required in this practice. You must speak as one who knows, not as one who hopes. Hope is the seed, but command is the harvest. Hope waits for something to happen, command decrees that it is already done. Hope looks forward to the future, command draws it into the present. Hope is fragile, command is unshakable. To stand in command is to claim your inheritance with authority and to refuse all appearances that would suggest otherwise. Do not mistake command for arrogance. Arrogance is rooted in the ego, seeking to control through pride. True command is rooted in divine alignment, seeking only the unfolding of truth. Arrogance tries to bend life to selfish will. Command speaks only that which is rightfully yours by divine law. You do not command another's good, nor do you force your way upon others. You command only your own life, your own path, your own portion of abundance, health, peace, and joy. When spoken in this way, the law of command works with precision and perfection, never taking from one to give to another. but drawing from the infinite supply that is available to all. Those who live under the law of command carry an atmosphere of authority. Their words are few but powerful. They do not waste energy on idle complaints or fearful chatter. When they speak, it is as though a decree has been issued, and life bends to fulfill it. They know that their word is law to their own experience, and they use it wisely. Such a one does not plead for opportunities, but commands them into being. They do not lament circumstances, but declare victory over them. They do not accept limitations as final, but speak the word that dissolves them. Every day, you are given countless opportunities to practice this law. Each challenge is not a barrier but an invitation to command. When fear arises, command peace. When doubt appears, command faith. When opposition presses, command victory. Each time you do this, you strengthen the spiritual muscle of authority within you. You begin to walk as one who knows that the universe is not a reluctant servant, but an obedient one, awaiting only the sound of your decree. The law of command is not about striving harder, but about speaking from the place of alignment. It is about knowing that your word, once released, cannot return void. It must accomplish what it was sent to do. The moment you speak with authority, the universe begins rearranging itself to match your decree. Circumstances shift, opportunities arise, people are moved into place, doors open, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Command has gone forth, and life has no choice but to obey. There are certain words, certain phrases, that act as keys to unlock the storehouses of the universe. They are not ordinary statements, they are affirmations charged with divine power. An affirmation is more than repetition, more than a line spoken into the air. It is a decree, a spiritual password, a spoken alignment with eternal truth. When uttered with faith, affirmations open invisible doors, shifting currents of energy in your favor, and drawing into your experience the things that belong to you by right. Every affirmation is a key, and each key unlocks a different door. Some keys open the way to health, others to supply, others to peace, protection, love, or wisdom. To hold the key and never use it is to stand before a locked treasure chest while hungering for what is already yours. To use the key is to claim your inheritance, to draw forth what has been waiting behind the veil of the unseen. The world is filled with those who wander in circles of defeat, crying for deliverance while the key already rests upon their tongue. They do not realize that their words hold creative power, that the very phrases they repeat in despair, "I can't," "I lack," "I fear," "I suffer," are the locks upon their own doors. Yet just as negative affirmations bind, positive affirmations liberate. The difference lies not in the act of speaking, but in the choice of words and the conviction behind them. An affirmation is not a wish whispered into the night, but a statement of fact spoken in the present. It is the declaration of what already is in the invisible, bringing it forth into the visible. When you affirm, "I am strong, I am whole, I am guided," you are not speaking of a hope for tomorrow. You are commanding today to align with divine truth. The words may seem simple, but they carry vibration. That vibration reshapes the unseen substance of life until it conforms to the picture declared. To affirm is to plant a seed, and every seed carries within it the pattern of its own fulfillment. Speak the seed of health, and health is compelled to grow. Speak the seed of abundance, and abundance must unfold. Speak the seed of peace, and peace cannot help but arise. The law is exact and unfailing. The power of affirmations lies not in the force of the human will, but in the harmony of divine law. You do not make a thing true by affirming it. You align yourself with the truth that already exists. For supply already exists, health already exists, wisdom already exists, love already exists. Affirmations are simply the keys that unlock their manifestation in your experience. They are the bridge that carries truth from the invisible into the tangible. Every time you affirm, you are calling into form that which has been awaiting your recognition. Imagine standing before a locked vault filled with treasures prepared for you, gold, jewels, provisions, every good thing. To cry outside the door, To pound your fists against it, to despair in hopelessness, will not move it an inch. But if you take the key and turn it, the door swings open effortlessly. So it is with affirmations. The vault of divine supply is already yours. Your affirmation is the key that grants access. The vault has never been empty, it has only been unopened. The delay is not in the giver, but in the receiver's use of the key. An affirmation must be spoken with feeling, for feeling is the fire that gives life to the word. Cold, mechanical repetition carries little power, but a word charged with conviction radiates like a flame. It does not matter if the evidence before your eyes contradicts the affirmation. Affirmations are not dependent upon appearances. They are spoken in defiance of appearances. They declare the higher truth that reshapes appearances. To say, "I am prosperous," while your purse is empty is not falsehood, it is planting the seed of prosperity in the soil of the unseen, from which visible supply must eventually spring forth. To say, "I am healed," while pain lingers in the body is not denial of fact, but affirmation of truth, which has the power to dissolve fact and replace it with harmony. Affirmations work through persistence. Just as a key may need to be turned fully to open the lock, so must affirmations be spoken consistently until the door swings wide. It is not the single utterance, but the steady, unwavering decree that reshapes the inner and outer world. Each repetition chisels away the stone of doubt. Each declaration strengthens the pattern of truth, until at last the manifestation bursts forth, often suddenly, often in ways you could never have planned. The moment arrives when the affirmation, long spoken in faith, appears in form, and the invisible becomes visible before your very eyes. The sacred art of affirmation requires discipline of thought and word. For every affirmation spoken in faith can be cancelled by a contradiction spoken in doubt. To declare in the morning, "I am abundant," and in the evening sigh, "I have nothing," is to lock the very door you sought to open. Affirmations must be guarded as precious treasures. Once declared, they must be protected from the invasion of fear and complaint. Speak only those words that align with your affirmation. Refuse to lend your tongue to any utterance that denies it. Surround yourself with the atmosphere of the decree until it becomes the air you breathe. There are affirmations so powerful that they act as master keys, opening multiple doors at once. Phrases such as, "All that is mine by divine right now comes to me under grace in perfect ways," carry within them the vibration of completeness, safety, abundance, and harmony. They summon forth not one blessing but many, for they align you with the fullness of divine order. Such affirmations are like universal keys, fitting the locks of health, supply, guidance, and protection all at once. To speak them is to position yourself at the center of divine flow, where every good and perfect gift rushes to meet you. The power of affirmations is not reserved for moments of need alone. They are equally potent when spoken in times of ease, for they sustain the flow of blessings and guard against the intrusion of discord. Just as the body is strengthened by daily nourishment, so is the spirit fortified by daily affirmations. Speak them in the morning to set the tone of your day, in the evening to seal your rest, and in moments of challenge to affirm victory. Let your words be continual keys, turning the locks of unseen treasures, until your life becomes a reflection of heaven's abundance. Do not underestimate the simplicity of affirmations. What seems small in word is great in effect. A single phrase, repeated with faith, can dissolve mountains of difficulty. A single decree, spoken in alignment with truth, can redirect the course of destiny. Affirmations are divine keys, but their power is not in their length or complexity. It is in the certainty with which they are spoken. Simple words like, "I am guided," "I am supplied," "I am protected," hold immeasurable force. When released, they summon invisible helpers, align circumstances, and open paths that human effort alone could never create. To embrace affirmations as divine keys is to accept that your tongue is the master of your fate. You are never locked out of your own good unless you refuse to use the key. The key is always at hand, always waiting for your command. Speak the word, and the door opens. Declare the truth, and the blessing appears. Affirmations are the evidence of your authority as a creator. They are the spoken bridges to your destiny, and each time you use them with faith, you step further into the life prepared for you since the beginning of time. Life is a mirror, ever reflecting back to you the images you project through your words. The outer world is not separate from your inner declarations, but a faithful echo of them. What you continually speak is woven into the fabric of your experiences, and the universe, impartial and exact, returns to you the pattern of your speech. This truth may appear mysterious, but in reality it is the simplest of laws. Just as a mirror reflects the face that leans before it without distortion or favoritism, so does the universe reflect the words you give it. It does not add, it does not subtract, it does not judge, it only mirrors. If the words you send forth are filled with lack, fear, complaint, or defeat, those very conditions return to you multiplied. If your words are rich with abundance, love, strength, and victory, the same qualities rush to form the circumstances of your days. The universe has no preference, no bias, no partiality. It is not swayed by tears or moved by desperation. It simply reflects. If you stand before a mirror frowning, it will not return a smile. If you whisper failure into the stillness of the universe, you cannot expect it to return triumph. It is not the universe that withholds. It is the words spoken that shape what returns. Many do not realize this and blame fate, fortune, or unseen forces for the conditions of their lives, when in truth, the mirror has only done its work. The image they see is the one they have provided, painted daily with the brush of the tongue. This principle explains why two people in the same circumstances may experience vastly different outcomes. One who speaks words of faith, who continually affirms guidance, abundance, and victory, finds doors opening, opportunities flowing, and solutions arising even in the face of difficulty. The other who speaks words of defeat, who complains, doubts, and rehearses failure, finds every path blocked, every effort frustrated, every hope dimmed. The universe has not favored one above the other, it has only mirrored their words. Each has received back the reflection of their own declarations. Your words are like seeds cast into the soil of life, but they are also like images cast into a mirror. The soil multiplies the seed, and the mirror multiplies the image. If you stand before the mirror holding a candle, you will see not one light, but countless reflections of it, multiplied in brilliance. So it is with your words. Speak a phrase once with faith, and the universe returns it to you in multiplied form. Speak it again, and the reflection grows stronger, clearer, more defined, until at last it takes on physical form in the world around you. The more often you declare it, the sharper the reflection becomes. The more conviction you invest, the brighter it shines. Some wonder why negative conditions persist even when they long for change. The answer lies in the mirror. They may desire health, but their words continually declare sickness. They may crave abundance, but their speech rehearses lack. They may hope for peace, but their tongue repeats conflict. The mirror has no choice but to return what it is given. To change the reflection, one must change the words. It is as simple and as profound as turning a frown into a smile before a mirror. The reflection cannot alter first. It is the face before it that must shift. The law of reflection is exact. It does not matter if you speak words lightly, carelessly, without thought. The mirror still reflects them. This is why idle chatter carries weight, why careless complaints sow conditions as surely as intentional affirmations do. The universe does not differentiate between serious words and casual ones. It reflects all with precision. To recognize this is to awaken to the immense responsibility of the tongue. Every phrase spoken is a stroke upon the canvas of your destiny. Every word is a seed planted in the field of your future. Every declaration is an order sent forth, destined to return to you in kind. The wise therefore guard their speech as a treasure, releasing only those words they wish to see return. They understand that to speak lack is to summon it, To voice fear is to invite it, to declare defeat is to multiply it. Instead, they clothe their words in abundance, faith, harmony, and joy, knowing the mirror will faithfully echo them back. When difficulties arise, they do not rehearse them in words, for that would only strengthen the reflection. Instead, they speak the higher truth, commanding the mirror to shift. When shadows loom, they affirm light. When barriers appear, they declare breakthrough. When confusion presses, they affirm clarity. In this way, they train the mirror to reflect the life they choose, not the one appearances suggest. This is not denial of fact, but affirmation of truth. The mirror does not show what is eternal, it only shows what is projected. If the projection changes, the reflection must change. In the same way, if the words you speak change, the universe must alter its reflection. What seems like fate is nothing more than the echo of past declarations. What seems like destiny is often the harvest of spoken words. The future, therefore, is not fixed but flexible, shaped daily by the phrases that pass over your lips. The creative power of words lies not in their sound, but in their vibration. The vibration released into the universe returns as form. You may not see the connection immediately, but every word sound sets in motion an invisible chain of cause and effect. Over time, those causes gather into circumstances, relationships, and opportunities that mirror the original word. The delay is not denial, it is the process of reflection forming into substance. Just as an echo may take time to return across a valley, so do your words take time to return across the expanse of the unseen. But return they must, for the law cannot fail. There is a sacred practice in watching your words, observing them as though each one were a stone cast into a still pond. The ripples may seem small at first, but they widen, reaching shores unseen. So too with your words. A single complaint can ripple into chains of difficulty. A single affirmation can ripple into blessings untold. To become conscious of your words is to take control of the ripples you send forth. You begin to choose deliberately, refusing to release into the mirror anything you would not wish to see multiplied. Those who understand this law live differently. They do not allow themselves to speak defeat even in jest. They refuse to rehearse grievances, to gossip, to curse their own future with careless speech. Instead, they use their tongue as an instrument of creation, shaping with precision the reflections they desire. They speak health until health returns. They speak abundance until abundance manifests. They speak peace until peace surrounds them. And because the universe cannot resist a decree spoken with conviction, their lives blossom with the fruits of their affirmations. The universe is vast, impartial, and obedient. It waits only for your words. It is the great mirror, ever ready to reflect the images you provide. If your reflection is not what you desire, do not rage at the mirror. Change the words you speak, and the mirror will follow. Speak consistently. Speak with faith. Speak with authority, and watch as the reflection alters, reshaping itself into the life you choose. There are words so charged with divine authority that they act as living decrees, setting unseen powers into motion the moment they are spoken. Among all the affirmations you could speak, there is one so sacred, so complete in its vibration, that it summons every force of good into alignment. All that is mine by divine right now comes to me under grace in perfect ways. This declaration is more than a sentence. It is a key that unlocks the vault of heaven, a command that calls forth the fullness of your inheritance, and a shield that ensures what comes is always clothed in harmony and grace. To speak it is to align yourself with a law older than time, a law that governs supply, guidance, protection, health, and every good thing. The phrase begins with, "All that is mine," a reminder that nothing good is ever withheld from you. In the storehouse of the universe, your portion has already been assigned. You are not left out, you are not overlooked, you are not forgotten. The treasures of health, love, abundance, peace, and joy are already marked with your name. Yet they cannot force their way into your life. They await your recognition, your spoken claim. To say, "All that is mine," is to acknowledge that the supply already exists, that your inheritance is secure, that nothing and no one can take what belongs to you in the divine order. The next words, by divine right, seal the affirmation with authority. Divine right is not human will, not selfish desire, not grasping ambition. It is the portion of good that belongs to you because you are part of the infinite whole. Divine right means that your blessings are not stolen from another, nor do they deprive another of theirs. What is yours in justice, in harmony, in perfect balance with all. When you claim something by divine right, you lift your request out of the realm of human striving and anchor it in eternal law. No obstacle, no person, no condition can block what comes by divine right, for it is upheld by the very structure of the universe. To speak these words is to place your desire beyond dispute, beyond interference, beyond delay. The phrase continues, no comes to me, not tomorrow, not someday, not in some far-off future, but now. The universe responds to present tense. If you continually declare that your good will come, one day, it remains perpetually in the distance, always approaching but never arriving. But when you affirm, no comes to me, you draw the unseen into the present, you collapse the delay, you summon the manifestation into your immediate experience. The power of now is the power of creation itself, for eternity exists only in the present moment. To speak in the present tense is to plant the seed in the only soil where growth is possible, today and then, the most vital safeguard of alls, under grace. For without grace, a thing may come through struggle, force, or conflict, leaving sorrow in its wake. But when you affirm that your good arrives under grace, you invite it in ways that bless, uplift, and harm none. Grace ensures that what comes to you does so easily, harmoniously, and without cost to others. It dissolves all fear that your blessing might cause another's loss, or that your gain might bring hidden burdens. Grace weaves the threads of destiny into perfect patterns, ensuring that every arrival is timely, gentle, and exact. To speak under grace is to place your life under the care of infinite wisdom, which arranges all things in beauty and order. Finally, the phrase closes with, in perfect ways. These words surrender the details to the divine intelligence that knows paths beyond your imagination. Human reason might insist on one route, one method, one outcome, but the universe holds infinite possibilities. By declaring, in perfect ways, you open yourself to solutions greater than your plans, opportunities wider than your vision, blessings beyond your expectation. You cease striving to control how your good arrives and allow the higher law to deliver it in forms that are flawless, complete, and often astonishing. What comes in perfect ways carries with it no regret, no hidden flaw, no shadow of loss, but shines with the unmistakable stamp of divine perfection. When you join these phrases together, all that is mine by divine right now comes to me under grace in perfect ways. You speak a decree that covers every area of life. It calls forth your rightful supply, your rightful health, your rightful relationships, your rightful opportunities. It clears away what does not belong, what is false, what is out of harmony, and replaces it with what is eternally yours. It commands the universe with authority, but softens that command with grace. It claims immediacy, but surrenders the method to divine wisdom. It is at once bold and humble, powerful and yielding, commanding and trusting. To use this affirmation is to stand in the center of your divine inheritance. Each time you speak it, you remind yourself that you are not a beggar in life, but an heir. Each time you release it, unseen hands move, doors swing open, obstacles dissolve, and the currents of destiny rearrange themselves to deliver what belongs to you. At times, the results may be swift and startling, arriving in ways you could never have arranged. At other times, they may unfold steadily, step by step, each moment perfectly timed. But always, they come, because the law cannot fail. What is claimed by divine right must appear, what is spoken under grace must bless, what is declared in perfect ways must unfold in harmony. It is wise to speak this affirmation often, for it not only calls forth your good, but also guards you from false appearances. Many things in life may look attractive, But if they are not yours by divine right, they will bring sorrow. A position gained through force, a relationship pursued through fear, wealth acquired through dishonor. These may glitter for a moment but soon corrode, leaving bitterness behind. But what comes by divine right remains, and what comes under grace blesses. By using this affirmation, you ensure that nothing enters your life except that which is truly yours, and that everything that is yours comes without harm, without struggle, without regret. There will be times when appearances seem contrary, when doors close, when what you desired slips away. In those moments, the affirmation becomes your anchor. Speak it again. All that is mine by divine right now comes to me under grace in perfect ways. If something leaves, trust it was not yours by divine right, and something better is already on its way. If a plan collapses, trust that it was not the perfect way, and a greater path is opening unseen. The affirmation lifts you above appearances and keeps you aligned with truth, steadying your heart until the new reflection arrives. To live by this affirmation is to live in trust, in surrender, in certainty. You cease striving, fearing, and forcing, and instead walk with the calm assurance that the universe is your servant, your mirror, your faithful provider. You know that your good is secure, that it is finding its way to you, that it cannot be lost or delayed, that it arrives gently, fully, and perfectly. You walk through life as one who knows, and the universe responds in kind. Speak it often. Speak it in the morning as you rise, in the evening as you rest, in the moments of challenge, in the times of gratitude. Let it be the refrain of your heart, the decree of your tongue, the key you turn in every locked door. Speak it until it becomes the atmosphere around you, the rhythm of your breath, the truth you carry in silence and in sound. For in these words lies the fullness of the law, the guarantee of your inheritance, the promise of your supply, and the unfolding of your perfect destiny. When we step back and look at the journey through each of these divine affirmations, a single truth emerges like a thread woven through a vast and radiant tapestry. The spoken word is not just sound, it is power. It is law, it is seed. It is the invisible substance that shapes the visible world. Every keynote has revealed a dimension of this truth, whether it was the hidden command that calls wealth, the sacred verses that summon blessings, the ancient decrees that unlock healing, or the great covering affirmation that secures all good under grace and in perfect ways. Each one is not merely a phrase but a bridge between the seen and unseen, a passage through which the treasures of heaven descend into the earth of your daily life. What is most striking is that none of these affirmations call for striving, grasping, or struggling. They do not push you into fear or competition. Instead, they lift you into alignment with what is already yours by divine right. They remind you that abundance is not something to be wrestled from a reluctant universe, but something to be received as an heir receives an inheritance. They free you from the narrowness of human planning, from the impatience of delay, from the shadows of doubt, and set you in the place of calm authority where you speak, and it is so. The power of these words lies not only in their sound, but in the consciousness they awaken. Each repetition chisels away at the old belief in lack, the old fear of unworthiness, the old doubt that good may not come. Slowly, steadily, faithfully, these affirmations sculpt your inner world until you begin to expect good, to assume supply, to walk in certainty. And as within, so without, the world around you rearranges itself to mirror the conviction that has taken root inside. Doors open, paths appear, blessings unfold, not because you forced them, but because you aligned yourself with law, and always, grace is the safeguard. Grace ensures that what arrives is clothed in harmony, that your gain does not mean another's loss, that your success does not carry hidden sorrow. Grace transforms even delays into protection, even losses into redirections, even setbacks into setups for something better. When you affirm under grace, you rest in the assurance that your life is governed not by chaos, but by wisdom, not by accident, but by divine orchestration. So, as we close, Carry this knowing with you: the word you speak is the world you create. Each time you declare these affirmations, you are not reciting empty syllables. You are moving law, shaping destiny, summoning your rightful inheritance. Speak them with faith, with boldness, with gratitude, and then step into the flow of life with trust. Watch as the invisible becomes visible, as the unseen becomes seen, as the promises whispered in your heart become the blessings placed in your hand. For the universe is faithful, the law is sure, and the word, once spoken, does not return void.